Hey guys, it's Big Mike, and like always, I'd like to thank you for being here today. Today we have Raymond Day, the founder and CEO of NinjaTrader, and he's here to talk about NinjaTrader 8. I believe, in fact, this is the third time that he's given us a preview of NinjaTrader 8, so if you have not seen the previous two, you should definitely check those out. Today, he wants to talk about the strategy analyzer, the FX board, and the new ATM strategies. There's also going to be a Q&A, and Ray has asked that as you guys have questions, just to wait until he asks for those questions. He's going to pause every now and then and take questions. Okay, guys, I'll be posting the recording for this webinar sometime tomorrow. If you miss it, you can go back and watch it then. If you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up if you like it. And if you're watching it on BMT, there's a feedback form right below the video that you can give us your thoughts. Thanks, guys. Here comes Ray.
Okay, everybody, I've got the mic going. I think you should all be able to hear me.
Yeah.
And I hope you can all see the screen.
Yeah, looks good. Thanks, Ray.
Okay, great. First and foremost, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Big Mike for allowing me to come in and present here NinjaTrader 8. This is my third presentation on this, and like Mike said, they have not been a repeat of the ones I've done before. They've all seemed to progress and broach on different topics, so definitely encourage you all, if you haven't seen the first two, to take a look there. Oh, Mike, I'm getting this warning here. It says some participants can't view webcams. Only the first 100 participants can view webcams. Anything you need to be concerned about?
No, I don't know why it started doing that, but we don't use webcam, so it's not a problem. You can just dismiss that.
Hit close. Great. So I'm going to talk about three things today. ATM strategies, some of the things that we're doing there for NinjaTrader 8. The new FX board, which is what I have on my screen right now. And the strategy analyzer, which I guess you can also say is, I'll say it's improved. It's not necessarily new, although it's going to look a bit different than what some of you are used to. So let's just dive right in. I don't have any type of PowerPoint. I figured I'd just walk through the product and pick and choose things and take some questions along the way. Now, our ATM strategy, for those of you who may not be aware of this, was actually one of the very first things that we developed, or that I developed for NinjaTrader back in 2003. It is what started the company, or the primary feature that started the company, and has been virtually unchanged since then. I think for the most part this feature has been copied, and it's very effective for people trading fast-moving markets, or people that are doing intraday trading, whether it's a few times a day or many tens or hundreds a day. And so I guess my point is that there's not a lot of things that we've done to change it, since we kind of figured why fix something that's not broken. So what we've done is enhance it in a couple of different areas and implement I guess you could say, an evolved way of managing the ATM templates. And I'll talk about the FX board in a sec, but I'm going to move my mouse over to the very right side of the board, and you're going to see here we have something you guys are probably familiar with, which is the ATM selection combo box. And you're going to find with NinjaTrader 8 that behavior-wise it's more or less the same. You can select custom if you want to create something on the fly. You can select none if you just want to place orders without having an ATM strategy attached. And then you will see a list of all of the different ATM templates that you have to choose from. What we've opted to do is move to more of a chart trader type approach, where if you want to, for example, create a template, I can select custom, and you're going to get your very familiar screen you're all used to. And there's not too much that has changed here. It looks a little bit updated, but I wanted to point out a few things. One, we've introduced the property parameter type, so you can define whether you want to have your stop loss and target offsets either based in currency percent. We added pips I want to say we added currency as well. We added two things here. Pips, obviously, for the Forex guys. So that's new or enhanced. We also added the ability to add as many stops and targets as you want. So with NinjaTrader 7 and every version before then, we only allowed you to have 1 through 3. For the most part, most people trade with 1, some people trade with 2, and even fewer people trade with 3. However, over the years, we constantly get asked to have more than 3 stop and target pairs. So with NinjaTrader 8, we have introduced that, and the way that you manage that is by simply clicking this Add button, which will go ahead and add as many rows as you want. And everything else is more or less the same. The idea here is once you've defined what you want, you can hit OK, and it'll go ahead and use those parameters. If you want to save this as a template to be used later, you would just simply click on that button that says Save as a Template, and here you're prompted with a name. You put in what you want, you hit Save, and you move on. Now, you can also, of course, remove the targets. I just want to make one quick statement here. What you see right now obviously is a functioning version of NinjaTrader 8, but this is in development, meaning that whatever you might see here is still subject to change, be refined, be tweaked, and it's also subject to blowing up in my face if for some reason I encounter an exception or a bug. So again, this is a in development product that you're seeing right now. So I'm going to hit Cancel. And what you can do, I'm going to click back on this ATM drop-down. You can remove the templates in here. So this is kind of a built-in management feature that we've put into the combo box. And I'm just going to go ahead and select ATM 1. And if I'll go ahead and just enter here. And what you'll see here is, if you guys recall with NinjaTrader 7, we would say something like active dash and then the strategy name. We've tried to clean it up a bit, and instead of putting in the active text, we put in this lightning bolt that would imply that this is an active running ATM strategy. Another thing that we've done that I can't show you here, another thing that a lot of you have asked for, is the ability to take an open, what we call a naked position, meaning there's no stops or targets or any ATM strategy protecting an open position, and come in and associate that position to an ATM strategy. So in other words, you go in, you've got an open position, and you want to say, hey, protect this with this ATM strategy. We've been asked for that over the years, and so we are introducing that with NinjaTrader 8 as well. So that's the high-level ATM strategy discussion. So I guess I'll stop right here, Mike, and take any questions specific to ATM strategies.
Sure. Okay, guys, so now's your chance to ask. There's already a few here. Gary is asking, are there ATM strategies that the user has saved available to indicators and strategies? We will be able to display a selection box parameter list so the user does not have to type in the name of an ATM.
The answer is no. I should say it in a different way. The interaction between ATM strategies and NinjaScript strategies will not be any different in NinjaTrader 8 than it is in NinjaTrader 7, meaning you can still use a NinjaScript strategy to drive an ATM strategy, but you have to do it in the same way that it's being done in NinjaTrader 7.
Gotcha. Mark is asking the same thing, actually, and so we've answered that. So you can do it the same way through NinjaScript that you do today. Let's see. Elliot is asking if it's possible to run different ATM strategies on different charts simultaneously and have the application keep track of the results.
You can do that with, I might not fully understand the question, but you can run multiple ATM strategies on ChartTrader or any of our other order entry interfaces, but you can only display one ATM strategy at a time, unless there is a setting where if you turn it off, you can see all the orders, but it can be done now with NinjaTrader 7, unless I don't understand your question in its entirety. Okay. And if I'm incorrect in my understanding of your question, I would suggest sending in a question to our support.
Okay.
Or pardon me, let me rephrase that. If I did understand your question and you're wondering, oh great, how do we do it? Send in a question to support. If I misunderstood your question, feel free to pop it in again in a different way.
Doug's asking for the new pips setting. Does that also include the 1/10 pips?
That's a good question. Actually, let me just show you guys that. I think it's set up. Give me a sec. So by default, I guess it's not set up correctly yet. The pips will increment in 10th pip increments. So you'll go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and up. So it will increment. So if you want 2.1 pips, it'll show up that way. Does that answer the question? I think it does.
Yeah. And I'm seeing several more questions about accessing ATMs from NinjaScript. So do you want to just cover that one more time?
Sure, no problem. Nothing in NinjaTrader 8 relative to the interaction between a NinjaScript strategy and an ATM strategy is expected to change, meaning you can still drive an ATM strategy from your NinjaScript strategy, but it's going to be done in the same manner that you would do it now in NinjaTrader 7.
Jerry's asking, can you set it up so that multiple ATMs can be linked to give more than 3 targets with stop strategies?
I can say that you can have one ATM strategy with more than 3 targets. I'm not sure, like I said, if I am exactly on par with the question you're asking of me. You can't migrate 2 ATMs together, but you definitely can have an ATM that has greater than 3 stop and targets.
Okay. Peter's asking if we can programmatically add a new ATM strategy from within NinjaScript.
No.
Rick is asking, it's a little bit off topic here, but I've already mentioned it now, sorry. Will version 7 strategies work in version 8? I don't know if he's talking about ATM or just generic strategies. I'm not sure.
Okay. In NinjaTrader, there will be some, obviously, upgrade, transition. I expect that our ATM strategies would move over. There's no reason to believe that they wouldn't. We did that with Ninja 6.5 to NinjaTrader 7. With regards to a NinjaScript strategy, there are code-breaking changes to both indicators and strategies, meaning that for the most part they won't just move over. You'll have to tweak them depending on what you've coded. It could be a 10-second change. It could be a 10-minute change. I can't answer that since there's too many variables with that.
Right. And guys, we're trying to keep questions just for the ATM right now. I'm not sure if this question pertains, so I'll ask. Ronald says, will fill or kill be included with NT8?
I guess that's more of a question on an order type, and the answer I want to say right now is no. And it's a tentative no. I can't say for sure it's no, but I know that most of our at least on the future side, there is not a lot of technologies that support fill or kill. And on the stock side, for sure there are, but the bulk of our traders don't trade stocks, so that's why I'm saying likely not.
Okay. Mark is asking if there's an easy way to deliver ATMs to other people, like sharing templates.
Oh. With NinjaTrader 7, I have to say off the top of my head, here's a good thing. So with NinjaTrader 7, ATM strategies are, pardon me, let me restate that. ATM strategy templates are stored in the database, so there's no easy way to transfer them. With NinjaTrader 8, we've moved the ATM strategy templates out of the database and moved them to XML files, meaning you could just hop in your file system and copy, paste, and email them over to your friend if you want. There might even be a process in which you could do that during a backup, so I think you might be able to do something like backup, or let me even check. I can't remember what we did with our export. Okay, so we got export backup file. Oh, I guess I can't back up while I'm connected. There might be a provision when you're creating a backup where you could select ATM strategies, and then that might import them all over, but worst case, you could send over people some files, some XML files.
Okay. Scott is asking if you'll be able to run both chart trader and an ATM strategy simultaneously on the same chart.
You can do that now with NinjaTrader 7.
Josh wants to know if you can show us how it looks on a chart. I'm guessing you don't have charts just yet.
I have nothing to show you in charts at this point.
All right. Andrew is again asking, and I see some others too, if we can use ATMs for back testing. So if I have understood you correctly, it's the same as it is in NinjaTrader 7, which would mean that you can access it for live trades. Isn't that how it works in NT7? It works in live but not in backtest?
That is correct.
Sal is asking if we can attach an ATM strategy that includes both a stop loss and a trailing stop simultaneously to an order.
You can do that now with NinjaTrader 7. Again, if you know, maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, but right now you definitely can submit a stop loss, and that stop loss you can optionally have a trailing stop. So in our lingo, a trailing stop is not a different order than a stop loss. The stop loss is your stop order, and that stop loss can be governed by what we call auto trail or auto break even, which just modifies that stop loss based off of price action.
Trans is asking if the new FX board is restricted to a certain number of pairs, or can you have as many as you want?
As many as you want. And I'll talk about, Mike, is there a lot of ATM questions left, or could I stop it here?
Sorry, yeah, I shouldn't have asked that one. Let me see here. Chris is asking if we can add contracts from within an ATM strategy.
Yes. You could do that now in NinjaTrader 7 too.
Okay, and let me, this one's kind of long here. So Elliot says, currently, even though we can run different ATM strategies and different charts, if one of the strategies is trading, all the charts show those trading stops, targets, and entries. I'd like to see the strategy visible only on the chart he selects so we can run different strategies on different charts simultaneously.
You can do that now in NinjaTrader 7, Elliot. And if you go to our help guide, basically there's what's called an ATM strategy display mode or ATM strategy selection mode. I can't remember the exact term, but that, and there's 3 options to that property, and that allows you to determine the behavior of this combo box that we were looking at a few minutes ago, and control what you would see on the order entry interface. And so what you want to basically do is, let's say, run 2 separate ATM strategies on the same account and same instrument, but have them displayed as if they're, you know, 2 independent things, and you're not mixing the 2. And you absolutely can do that with NinjaTrader 7 now.
Okay.
That's actually one of our original features back from 10 years ago.
All right, so here's the last question on ATMs, and then we can move on. JTA is asking, is it possible to change ATMs that are already running? So I think he's probably asking about, you know, live orders already in the market, if you can modify them.
Yes, you can do that with NinjaTrader 7 now. You can do many different things. You can change the settings of the auto trail stop. You can turn it on or off. You can turn on auto break even. You can add to it. You can subtract from it, or I should say move quantities between stops and targets. All of that is available now in ATM strategy NinjaTrader 7. And all of that functionality is going to move over to NinjaTrader 8 as well. What I would suggest is we do have, you know, our free webinars that run daily on ATM strategies, and I can't remember if there's a level 1 and level 2. All of this as well is spelled out in the help guide, and this definitely goes into some more of the advanced features of our ATM strategies, but all of that capability already does exist.
All right, sounds good. So what do you have for us next?
So let's talk about what you see on your screen now. So, you know, in NinjaTrader 7, we don't have such a window, what we call an FX board. And so with NinjaTrader 8, one of the areas that we're expanding, especially in light of our relationship with FXCM, is to provide more Forex-specific tools. This is the first entry to that. And what we decided was we looked at all the various different Forex market data type windows, and it was very clear that they all look something like this. You know, they've got what I call tiles and bid-ask, you know, on left and right. And, you know, some had a little bit different of a feature than the others, but they all more or less looked like this. And so that was our inspiration, was, you know, let's not try to reinvent something, but how can we take what we see and adopt it to make it work, you know, in a NinjaTrader style, and also how can we try to make it better in our eyes. So there's a couple of things. I guess first and foremost, you're going to see the tiles that you see in front of you. All Forex traders are going to be used to that. The next thing we thought was, okay, well, we want to embed an order grid inside this Forex board so that as people trade within this Forex board, they can manipulate and see their orders first. That was one thing we didn't see out there. The second thing was, well, ATM strategies is a big component of NinjaTrader. How do we try to display orders grouped by ATM strategies within this order grid? So that was the next thing we tried to tackle, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And the second, or not second, and another thing was, how do we allow people to place orders, not only just market orders, which is what occurs when you press either on this sell or buy button that has the prices on it, but how do you actually allow people to place custom orders for a stop order or a limit order? And what we found with these tiles out there in the marketplace was that when you press on the buy or sell buttons, either they would submit a market order, or you had the option to set the tile to place either a stop order or a limit order, but it could either do one or the other, or it would bring up an order ticket. And for those of you who know us very well, you know, we like to ensure that people don't have barriers to placing orders very efficiently or very quickly. So what we did on the front side of the tile is, you know, market orders by default. And that seemed to be pretty common among Forex interfaces like this. And then what we did is, if you click on this, I don't know what you call this little icon on the top of the tile, it flips around. Basically, that icon is there to represent flipping the tile around. And here you can see different interfaces. Still got the bid and ask data, but this is where you have the ability to say, okay, I want to place a limit order or a stop market or stop limit. You can set the price and then submit the order. And so that was our solution for still allowing people to get fast access, but not providing some order ticket that popped up. I'm just going to flip back to the other side where the market data shows up. Excuse me for a second. Then, of course, we thought, well, you also have to have the ability to spawn ATM strategies from this tile, and that's why the ATM combo box is here. And that's how we came up with this kind of look and feel and functionality. I should also add, we didn't see anywhere where people had the P&L, the position size, or even a close button on the tiles for Forex. So we added that as well, which was in the same spirit as our other order entry interfaces that people have come to know and love. Excuse me. So here you can see in the Euro USD, I've got a position of 100K, and if you look down on the order grid, you'll see that this is grouped. So we've got the instrument name, ATM1. It says here 100,000 long. It should really say 100K long at this price. You know, here you can add targets, remove targets. You can move your stop to break even. You can, you know, adjust the prices of your orders here on the right-hand side. Let me go ahead and enter another position into here, this Euro JPY. So you can see what it would look like here. Now I've got two ATM strategies, but displayed as grouped in the order grid down below. So you have the ability to monitor and manage multiple data streams or Forex pairs, and the ability to trade multiple pairs as well, grouped by ATM strategies, down below. And there's a few other things here in the Forex board. You can customize this stuff, colors as you would expect. You can see up here I've got, it says 12 seconds, 13 seconds, and it's counting up. That's just the number of seconds elapsed since the last quote. For some reason, every single Forex tile had a timestamp of the last update. I'm not a Forex guy. To me that's not important, but I guess for some reason probably is important to people trading Forex. And you can change that. You could display the high and low if you want. So there's definitely some user definable settings here. This is tab driven as well, so I could add another tab, add another bunch of tiles if I want to have some other tile grouping to this if it made sense. You can also turn this grid on or off if you really don't care about seeing your orders or you don't plan on monitoring your trades from this. So there's a lot of different levels of flexibility here. And one last thing I'll show you, this is actually not specific to the Forex board itself, but specific to the order quantity selector. So right here in the middle, you can see it says 100K, and I can increase up in 100K increments. This is the quantity size for my order. What we have also implemented, it's not finished yet, but if I middle click in here, I get this number pad that is user configurable. The left side will be a quick selection, so you can populate that with numbers that you just click on and it goes away. So if I clicked on 5, it would put 5 in that quantity selector. The right side will have a plus beside it, so instead of just selecting, you can add that quantity into your price selector. So it's a quick number pad to enter a number or add numbers to the number that's already displayed in the quantity selector. And again, it's configurable, and this is available or will be available on any location where you see the quantity selector for an order. So I'll stop there and take some questions on the Forex board.
Okay. So Ray, traditionally we see on the bid column the buy button, and on the ask column the sell button on the DOM. So it's reversed here. What's the reasoning? Maybe I'm just not following.
The reasoning is that every single FX tile does it this way.
All right. Okay. So you can tell that I don't normally trade that way. So I'm not sure why that is. It seems a little confusing to me, but maybe there's a reason. Okay.
I think I've got the reason. I think because when you hit buy, you're buying you're placing a market order at that basically ask price. That's, I think, the idea is you're buying at that price.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm just too used to the traditional DOM. All right. GM Piero is asking if the FX board can be used only for FX, or if you can use it for futures or other symbols.
Right now, we have it set up only for Forex. And I guess I'll leave it at that. We're open-minded to opening up for other instrument types, but and we actually started down that path. But for now, at least out the door, it will go out as a Forex-only product.
Okay. And just so you know, there were several other people asking the same question. Fadi is asking if we can customize the data feed by instrument. So I think that's a little bit off topic here, and something that you mentioned in the last two webinars. Theo is asking, again, off topic. Okay. Kofi's asking, on the top left you have the P&L. Can you turn that off?
Not at this time.
And guys, we're trying to just focus on FX board questions right now. At the end, we can kind of open it up to everything else. Let's see. Theo, off topic. Greg wants to know about mini and micro lots. So instead of 100K increments, can we do like 25K or 10K or so forth?
Yeah, it'll be set to the lot size of your account. So if your account is a micro account, it will increment in 1,000 increments. If it's a mini account, I guess that would be 10,000. Yeah, the fact that it's incrementing in 400K is only because that's the default for my simulation account. But it will tie to your actual account itself.
Okay. This is kind of on topic. Bruce wants to know if there are any new Forex brokers that you're going to be supporting in NinjaTrader 8.
Not that I know of today.
SS is asking if this FX board is going to work with interface, if it's able to work with brokers other than FXCM.
Yes, any of our FX providers, which would be Interactive Brokers, MB Trading, Gain Capital, and I think that's it. I was going to say PFG, but we all know what happened there.
Let's see. Doug wants to know, what is the number between the bid-ask panel? That's the spread, right?
That is correct.
And Thomas wants to know if there's a panic, a.k.a. flatten all button.
There's no button here, but just like everywhere else in our product, we definitely have the flatten everything. I don't think it's in here yet, but that, panic button is definitely sprinkled throughout the product, just like NT7.
Okay. Greg wants to know if what kind of customization can he do? Can he change animation and so forth of the tiles using XAML?
Oh, that's a good question. The answer, I don't know at what level of exposure do we provide the animation. And what he's talking about is when I click on this thing, the tile animates, and that's done through XAML, which, for you non-programmers, just think of it as a programming language for layman's sake. I don't know where at what level that's being exposed or not at this time.
Okay. And guys, I'm going to ask for everyone that's asking a question not related to the FX board, please hold off. I don't see any other questions on the FX board right now.
Okay. Thanks for those questions, everybody. Let me close this, and let's talk about the strategy analyzer.
There is one last real quick question. The instruments that you've shown there, that's just what you have. You could add other pairs if they're available, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, there was just random stuff I had on there. Okay, strategy analyzer. I assume I maximize this full screen. I'm assuming everybody can see full screen, right, Mike?
Yes.
Mike?
Sorry, I guess my mic got cut off. Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. All right, let me see where to start. Okay, I guess there's a number of different things I'm going to talk about with the strategy analyzer. The first thing, obviously, what you can see here looks a bit different than NinjaTrader 7, although it's not a a 180-degree turn. It's an evolution of what we had. I personally believe it's the workflow is much nicer than it was in NinjaTrader 7. We've got tabs. Here at the bottom, I've only got one, but you can open multiple tabs and obviously multiple instances of the strategy analyzer itself as well. We have basically taken a lot of feedback that we've received from people and try to make the interface more usable, more friendly. We've hopefully innovated in some areas, and we've also done a lot of things in the areas of performance and rewriting the backtest algorithm to produce better results in some cases. So let me start by talking just a little bit about the window. The results window or results area is kind of the top left area of the screen. This is where you're going to see obviously your summary of your performance results, as well as you have the ability to go through and swap out to analysis, which is where you would see graphs, and I'll show you that a little bit. Your executions grid, trades grid, orders grid. We've moved Monte Carlo analysis directly into here as well. We have a thing called an optimization graph, which will allow you to plot different parameters side by side. when running optimizations. And you also have the ability to change what was called mode or display mode in NinjaTrader 7 here as well. So right now what I've got selected is a summary in currency. I can change it to percent or points, and we've also added pips and ticks as a way to display the data in one of those fashions. On the right side, we have basically the parameters that you would set or define for running a back test or an optimization. Unlike NinjaTrader 7, where we had this, we also had in NinjaTrader 7 strategies and instruments had to have been selected on the left-hand side. So we've kind of combined this all. So the idea is that you come in here, and you select your instrument. So let's say I select Apple. You would select your strategy. I'll just select our standard sample MA crossover. And so you can parameterize everything on the right side settings grid. This grid is right now pinned. I can unpin it. So, it gives you more space if you want. And unfortunately, it just hid under my, let me try to get rid of this Citrix control. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to repin it. On the bottom, we have what we call a log, or it's basically think of it like a history of all of the back tests and optimization runs that you do. And this will be tracked forever and ever unless you delete it. You can delete it by just simply right-clicking. But what this does is every time you're in a back test, it's going to save all the different pieces of data. And this is not all the columns that you can show, but it's going to show you what you did on what instrument, show you the, like here I've got total number of trades. I think I turned off the net profit, but you can put a bunch of different columns in here. Here's an optimization run I did before, so I can expand that out, which shows all of the runs of the optimization. You can right-click here. You can filter them by strategy, by instrument, by date, and see, kind of a history of what you've done. You can pin things if you want to keep things on top. And as well, what you can do is, let's say you've got a strategy, you back test it, you tweak it, you back test, you tweak it. This also saves a copy of the Ninja script or of the script used for that back test. This is not intended to be version control for your scripts, although you can kind of use it for that. But the idea would be, let's say you're 10 iterations deep in your strategy and you keep tweaking it, you back test, and now you've kind of gone down this dead-end road and you want to get back 5 steps, but you don't recall exactly what you tweaked. So you say, oh yeah, here, I want to go back to this stage, this back test, and then you can right-click here and go Ninja script, and it'll pull up the Ninja script editor with that iteration of the strategy. And if you want to let's say bring that back in, meaning overwrite the current actual working copy, you can just save it and overwrite your current strategy. So you have a way to get back to older revisions of your script. Excuse me again. So that's the general idea of the layout of the strategy analyzer. Let me go ahead and just kick off a quick back test here. So I've got, so here you can see up top I've got backtest type. I click that. You've got standard optimization, walk forward optimization, and something new called multi-objective optimization. I'm not going to touch upon this today. This is something we're still in kind of research and development. We hope to have it in there, but there's some challenges in doing that. That's why I'm not going to even discuss it now. You select your instrument. I've selected my strategy. You parameterize it. I'm going to select my start and end date. I'll just go back 2 years here because I know I've got a couple of years of Apple minute data here. I'll back test it on minute data, 5-minute bars. And here we have, you see historical fill processing. It says order fill resolution. By default, it's set to standard. This just simply means it's going to backtest bar by bar on every 5-minute bar. If I wanted to, I can select high. This implies slower. And I can say, okay, although I'm backtesting on 5-minute bars, I want my orders to be simulated on 1-minute bars or 1-tick bars or whatever lower, or I guess you could call it higher granularity that you might want to choose. I'm just going to go with the standard back test right now. And I'm going to hit run. And there we go. So you can see the results here on my summary. This strategy generated 28 grand in profits over the last couple of years. More or less, the format and the data points are the same that you would see in NinjaTrader 7. We have added some new things. We also added this even trades. With NinjaTrader 7, we included even trades as a winning trade. We've broken that out, so any calculations that take into account winning versus losing trades will exclude even trades, which was not the case with NinjaTrader 7. I can change it. Again, I'll change it quickly to %. And we've changed a little bit of the format up here. Here you can see, you know, total net profit. There's a dollar amount, but then we've tacked on the % to the right of that, so you can still get the dollar amount. Let me swap over. Let me switch back to currency. And let me switch over to our analysis. And this is where you're going to get your graphs. And we've changed this up quite considerably by bringing in, or let me say it differently, we allow you to drive the graphs based off of course, whatever the graph type you want, whether it's a drawdown, net profit, things like that. But you can drive it based off of a period. And we had the ability to do this somewhat in NinjaTrader 7, but it was on its own tab and it didn't graph. So now what I'm doing is I'm showing the cumulative net profit of the strategy, so the equity curve for the strategy, but it's plotted over days. You know, here if I wanted to do it monthly, you know, I just switch it to month, and obviously the graph will change accordingly. But then you can also see all of the different periods for every month here in the grid. Let me go back to day. You can filter these graphs by you know, saying all long or short trades, you know, all winning or losing trades, and then some of the graphs that we have, some of the MAE, MFE, or maybe it's not that, maybe it's the entry efficiencies. Yeah, I think it's the entry and exit. Yeah, right. Entry and exit efficiencies you can drive by either using the entry time or the exit time. That was something a lot of people asked for. Within NinjaTrader 7, we drove it, I want to say, from the entry time only, so this gives you some more flexibility in that area. The you know, I'll just switch to a different graph, you know, drawdown. This is actually the drawdown per period, so this is a drawdown on a daily period, but if I want a cumulative drawdown, which is the typical drawdown chart you would be used to, you know, would look something like that. And you can also hover over any data point, and it will show you the underlying data for that data point, wherever, you know, you put your mouse cursor. So that's the idea behind the analysis tab. I'll show you one other thing too, if you guys aren't used to this. So I'm going to go back to net profit, and I might say, you know, this is the equity curve over the entire date range of the strategy, but I also want to see, you know, when is this strategy generate the most profits on a hourly basis. So here what it's saying is that the profits primarily are generated at the end of the day. And so one could take this to mean don't trade any time other than the end of the day. If I go to day of week, for example, here you can see that Wednesday we never make any money, but Monday and Tuesday are good. So again, you know, as a system developer, I might say, you know, what would happen to this strategy if I took out all trades on Wednesday? So in other words, if it's Wednesday, don't trade. You know, would I be more profitable? This chart would suggest yes. Okay, let me switch over. So if I go to Monte Carlo, you know, this is your standard Monte Carlo chart here. You can see, you know, again, it's just more accessible than it was in NinjaTrader 7. So we feel that there's just a lot more enhanced workflow or optimized workflow for working with your strategies or analyzing your strategy. Now, one other thing too, you'll see here down by the Run button there's a text called template. I'll just click on that, and you'll see here it says Save and Load. So with NinjaTrader 8, what we've introduced is a templating mechanism for strategies. So and you can have as many as you want. So the idea here is that if here's a good example. Let's say you run an optimization, and the optimization returns a result, and let's just say you had a crazy number of parameters in your strategy, and so your optimizers come back and said, here's the optimal parameters for your strategy. Obviously, you don't want to type all those in and write all those down, so you can then click, template, save, and save that particular parameter set, and you can then use it if you're ever going to, for example, deploy that strategy live and use that particular optimization settings. As well, if you let's say run a back test and you've just got a lot of different settings and you want to reuse those settings later, you can also save that as a template, meaning it's not only saving the parameters for the strategy but also the parameters of the back test as well. So there's a lot more reusability, just an optimized workflow from this templating mechanism. I talked about rewriting the backtest algorithm and introducing higher levels of accuracy in some cases, and I'll just speak to that a little bit as well. With NinjaTrader 8, we do a lot more intrabar analysis, meaning we check to see what way we feel the bar had formed, whether it went from open to high to low, low to close, and we simulate the order across that price movement within that bar. And what that does, of course, is better simulate orders. If you've got multiple orders, let's say a stop and limit order that need to be checked on a bar, in NinjaTrader 7, if your stop and limit order are very close together, or let's say the price points were within the bar, we would always fill both in that bar in the same sequence always, meaning that some of you might have seen you get the stop and target lines within a bar. Well, with NinjaTrader 8, that won't happen because we will take into account the assumptive price movement in the bar and fill the order accordingly. And even we take it one level above that. Some of you advanced programmers probably know that you can program your strategy not only on the close of a bar, but in real time you can, or not in real time, but even in the backtest, you can program against order status events, execution events, position change events. And so you could have a scenario where, let's say you've got 2 limit orders that have been submitted, and now we're going to check the next bar to see if they're filled. And let's say one of those 2 was filled, and the fill of that bar, of that first limit order, you then are submitting another, let's call it a market order within order on order status. We will then fill that market order ahead of the other limit order that's waiting there as well. So there is even a correct priority in how orders are filled when orders are submitted intra-bar during a backtest. So those are some of the things that we've done in the algorithm for order filling. Let's see, optimization. A couple of things here to talk about. We do support enum and bool for optimization. In NinjaTrader 7, we did not support that. You'd have to use an integer to represent a bool, for example. So that's a minor, but I'm sure welcomed improvement. I talked briefly about that optimization graph, and I don't have anything to show you here on that today, so I guess I won't talk about that in any more detail. Custom fitness methods, what that simply means is where you would decide what you want to optimize on. We're going to break these out into Ninja scripts. I guess that's already probably the case, pardon me, with NinjaTrader 7. So I guess we're going to, let's say, officially support that. We have an improved genetic optimizer. So NinjaTrader 7, we did not support multiple cores when the genetic optimizer was run. So NinjaTrader 8 multi-core is supported for the genetic optimizer. We've introduced what we call a new moving average termination method. So basically what that means is as the genetic optimization is running, it will automatically terminate early if results are not progressively getting better after each generation, thus decreasing the time for a optimization run. We also have this automatic mode where the genetic optimization settings will automatically be generated based off of some input parameters, such as, I only want to run 100 permutations or something like that. So just to try to make it quicker to kind of get it going and get some results. Excuse me. I think I had mentioned this before. Just like NinjaTrader 7, you can run as many strategy analyzers as you want, but you also have this tab capability. I'll stop there and take any questions on the essay, Mike.
Looks very good, Ray. See a lot of things. On the right-hand side, can you move that GoToWebinar panel? It's still, yeah. Thanks. Okay. So I noticed a lot of things that I liked personally that were welcome improvements, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's see some of the questions. Andrew's asking if he's running something inside of Strategy Analyzer and it hangs or locks up, will it crash charts?
You mean crash NinjaTrader?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess the answer is that's a good question. Probably yes. If there's there's two things here. If there's a program exception, meaning the program runs into a problem, then that affects the whole program, and the whole program would come down. That's the same for any application. If the strategy analyzer is just in la-la land, for whatever reason, maybe it's just going to take 10 days to run your backtest or your optimization, it is run on well, let me state this. If you're running an optimization, it's going to run on all cores available on your PC, and it's going to run nearly at 100%. I guess my point there is if your strategy analyzer is at using those kinds of resources, you're going to have to press the abort button to get out of it. If you're running a backtest, it's going to run on one core, meaning your NinjaTrader will be running on other cores, which means it will be responsive. So if there's one problem with the backtest but not an exception in the program, you'll probably be fine with the other areas of the application because it's running on a separate thread.
Okay, and he's followed up and just says that he wants Strategy Analyzer to be independent, I guess, so that he can be trading during the day while also working on strategies without fear of the strategy causing any problems to his live trading. So
I see, and I think the answer is the Strategy Analyzer is not an independent process, meaning it's one process, one application, and so what you want to do is in essence run two different processes, just like running two different applications, and the only way to do that is to really run two instances of NinjaTrader, and you would need to do that on two separate machines.
Right, or at least a virtual machine. Okay, Phil is asking, this is kind of complex, so let me see here. He wants to know about scaling in and out. In Ninja 7, if you enter with the 2-lot, stop out on the 2-lot, it's considered one trade. But if you reach different profit targets on each of the 2 lots, it's counted as 2 trades. So the percentage of profitable trades is overstated and the win-loss ratio is understated, making the results not useful. Trades that are initiated as multiple contracts should be accounted for in the profit and loss on each contract, not trades.
Yeah, I understand the question. I can't answer the question. I know exactly what you're talking about. From our perspective, as you just pointed out, executions are paired together independent of whether they resulted from the same order, or from the same, as you call it, trade pair. I remember discussions around this, and I don't know if there was anything changed to provide a different calculation for that. I just don't know the answer to that. I do understand it.
And Andrew's asking if he can develop and add custom optimization columns, I guess, to be shown within the report screen or the analysis screen, like a custom ratio or profit factor or et cetera. So yeah, the summary page, yeah. Can we add columns there or custom rows?
This is on actually the list, and I'm not sure. I guess we're not done with the strategy analyzer. It's actually still in development. I think we're probably 75% complete with it. This is on the list. So what I mean by that is it's in our product specification to do that, but that part has not yet been discussed with development to understand if there's any implications or what's involved. And generally what happens is, myself and two other people are involved in the specification of the product, and we write a lot of documentation to do that. And sometimes we don't fully understand what can and cannot be done, or what the implications or the effort might be. This is one of those things. I don't believe it to be an issue, but I can't say that for sure. So all I can say is it's on the list to be done. But once we get to talking to development and they say, we could do it, but it's going to take us 8 weeks, to give you an example, I probably would say, okay, let's put that on the back burner. Or if they say, yeah, no problem, then great. So it's something we want to add.
Okay. Thomas wants to know if you can elaborate on how the cumulative drawdown is calculated. Is it against the initial investment or against the highest profit level?
I guess I'm not the guy who coded it, so I don't know the math behind it. But what I can say is this. Let me just go over to, let me go to the cumulative net profit first. So basically, drawdown simply is a measure, right, of the peak to trough that you see. So the highest point in profit, which, let me even just break this down even smaller. Give me a sec. Let me go to monthly. Might even be easier. So for example, from this point here to, let's say that's the highest point, reading it from left to right, going to this point here looks to me like the height of the low. So that would be, whatever the differential of that would be, the drawdown. So if I go to drawdown, that's what we're basically seeing here is that same time period. This is that trough, and this would be that peak, I think, right here. So it's starting really from zero. Since there's no concept in our back testing that says your account starting value is X, it's always starting at zero. I don't know if I answered your question. I think it was Thomas. But hopefully I did.
Daniel's asking if you can show a MAE scatter chart.
Sure. Let me see if I can get more trades on there. There we go. Looks like that.
Jupiter's asking, will you offer the same configuration template feature for individual indicators? Kind of off topic.
Yeah, I don't know at this time.
Andrew's asking if we can restrict a strategy to run on a specific time window without using regular trading hours and like templates, because those affect moving averages and other calculations. So that could be done with the NinjaScript today, right? So you could run it on a whatever chart template you want, 24 hours or ETH plus RTH, so that your moving averages and things are not affected, but you're trading only within a certain time period.
Yeah, you could do that now.
Yeah, so Andrew, that would just take some NinjaScript. Sal wants to know if you can. Okay, so is there any provision to be able to convert limit orders to market orders? Not
as an option. Obviously, you can do that programmatically by saying, if this condition is true, modify the price of your existing limit order to a, current, or whatever, last trade plus 20 ticks or something to that effect. You could do it programmatically, but there's no provision to do that via the user interface.
Okay. Bill says he's coming from Thinkorswim, and he wants to know if he can do this type of analysis that you're showing here with the strategy analyzer, but instead of it being based on a strategy, he wants to do it based on his actual discretionary trades.
Absolutely. So let me be clear. So let me just show you that. Well, actually, okay. So in the strategy analyzer, the left big portion of the window, that's the analysis section. That is another component that you can just open up if you go to the control center and go new account performance. And let me just bring it into view. It looks something like this. Has all the same kind of stats that you see there. You can then select your range. Whether you want to do, well, let's just say, you select your date range for the trades you want to bring in. If I click on this little filter icon, there's additional ways to filter, whether it's specifically on instruments, on accounts, on strategy templates. I don't really have any trades in there. You hit generate. I guess I've got a few trades in there. They're all just BS trades. And so there's your summary, and you can do the same thing. It's what I'm showing you in the strategy analyzer. It's the same component. So there's your analysis. You can do all your different graphs and things like that. So the short, that was a long answer, but the short answer is yes.
Okay. Kay's asking if the strategy analyzer is going to work with range and Renko bars.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it works with range bars already because NinjaTrader 7 does that. But as far as like Renko or some of the more exotic, is what I call them, custom bar types.
Yeah, I see here we've got range. I see we've got Renko. I don't know where it stops or ends. You know what I mean? But right now it's in there. So, I guess I have not run a back test on a Renko bar myself. So I assume if it's in there, it should work. So
just so you know,
take
Ray,
it for what it's worth.
There's on BMT, this is a real big popular subject, and NinjaTrader is one of the only platforms that allows it. So a lot of people have developed custom bar types, as you know. A lot of them are based on the Renko brick. So there's like Better Renko and Uni Renko, and I don't know. There's lots of them. I can't even name them all. But one of the underlying problems from a backtest point of view is what I call the false open. The open price of the bar is not really where the bar opened. It's just visually, cosmetically, in order to make it look right on the screen. That's the way it has to happen. So in the past, with Ninja 7, you could use those custom bar types, but the backtest result would be false. It would not be anywhere close to accurate unless you added an underlying, like one tick or one range or whatever data series to execute your trades on. So I think that's probably what he's asking.
Okay. Yeah, I just am not that close to that. From what I understand, the idea behind the Renko bar, or not the idea, but the open of the bar, I believe, can change after it's already been opened. So in other words, as we go to the next bar, or maybe it's a prior bar that can change. I can't remember, but there's some concept where a prior bar can change after it's already closed, something to that effect. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I know that, I better not go too far because, like I said, I'm not close enough to it.
Well, hopefully the new intra-bar higher time frame feature will help with that.
Right.
Okay, Greg's asking if he can show the parameters being optimized and not the whole parameter set inside of the optimization results.
Yeah, well, okay, hold on a second. Does he want me to run an optimization? Is that the question?
Yeah, I guess if he has 20 parameters, but he's only optimizing on 3, he just wants an easy way to see just those 3 in the result set, if I understand.
Oh, I see. I got it. I haven't really played around, and let's try it. And I warn you here, it could crash on me, but let's find out. Because I know, like I said, this is work in the optimizer they've been working on. So let me just see. I only have one strategy that has a few parameters, which is a sample MA. Let me just I got the optimizer on. Let me go max net profit, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so I did the optimization. So here's all your results up there. So if you're talking about this parameters, this is probably what you're talking about, where if you've got 30 parameters, but you would only want to see the ones that you optimized on versus every single parameter, correct?
Right. So if you reran what you just did, but only did it on fast and not slow, would it show only fast, or would it show both fast and slow? I think that's his question.
Let's find out.
Okay.
So it looks like it's showing both fast and slow, but I thought, and if we didn't, I'll write this down. Give me a sec here, because there's something. See, we have this, as you can see here where my mouse is, there is this selected, and I can't remember exactly what that does. I think what it does is show you when you select one of the results, it shows you the parameter that represents that result. So it's possible that you could, for example, if you had 30, right, maybe you could do it this way. If you had like 30 different parameters, or let's do this. I didn't optimize on fast, so I've got slow open. So as I select the different parameters, you can see here on the selected on the right side, there's a bracket 19. That means that 19 is a value for this particular optimization run. If I click on the next one, it's 17. So that does get you a little bit more clarity. But I'll write down. I can't remember if there was anything we were doing here on just showing the parameters that were optimized in the grid itself.
And just to let everybody know, we're currently answering questions from about 15 minutes ago. So guys, don't repeat the question just because we haven't got to it yet. JTA asking if you can use an indicator like RSI, and I'm not really understanding his question. I think he's maybe asking about like oversold and overbought. So there's nothing built into the GUI that's going to do that, but you can do all that with NinjaScript just like you can with Ninja 7, right?
Yeah, if you mean tie a strategy to whether something's overbought or oversold, yeah, of course.
Right.
I mean, for those of you who are new to NinjaTrader, or at least new to strategy development, you can build whatever you want, more or less. You know, and I say that very loosely. My point simply is that, you know, we're C#. There's a standard language. It's not our own, and as a result, you can build, you know, whatever you want. You can get pretty creative with things, and I think you'll notice many of our competitors are moving in the same direction.
And Ray, you haven't mentioned yet, but do you want to just kind of briefly talk about the speed or the performance enhancements that you think will be coming with Ninja 8 in terms of optimization and backtesting?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a number of reference samples that we use to test you know, performance. On the sample MA crossover, I just did this yesterday myself. The sample MA crossover really isn't you know, it's a very basic strategy, and the moving average indicators within it are as optimized as they're going to get. There's no performance difference between those indicators in NinjaTrader 7 and NinjaTrader 8. My point in saying that is that the performance comparisons I'm going to share with you right now are probably more or less completely dependent on the back tester, and not any performance improvements we made in indicator rewrites, as an example. And in NinjaTrader 7, optimization, I want to say it was on this fast was like 5 to 15, and slow was 20 to 50 over 2 years of data, was 40 seconds on NinjaTrader 7 and 30 seconds on NinjaTrader 8. That doesn't sound like, wow, okay, 10 seconds, whippy, you know, big deal. Well, again, this is a simple strategy. Many of you guys run, optimization that takes hours, if not a day, or even longer. So 10-second savings on 40 seconds is 25%. So, my point is, just on a basic strategy, there's a 25% improvement there. On some of our other reference samples, we're getting savings where we're running optimizations in 10% of the time than it did in NinjaTrader 8. And some of those have to do with improvements in some of the underlying architecture within stuff you can never touch, and also some indicator improvements. Like I know the CCI indicator has been significantly improved, for example, in NinjaTrader 8. So if you had a strategy that heavily relied on CCI, you would expect to see more improvements than, let's just say, maybe 25%. So that's, I guess, probably as much as I could tell. Until you start doing your own stuff with it, I can only give you some ideas of what we're able to see.
Right. Okay. Kay's asking, can Strategy Analyzer display the number of bars, as in the duration of bars in a trade from entry to exit?
I don't. Let me just take a look. Give me a sec.
It should be it, because with Ninja 7, one of the reports showed the number of bars in the trade.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I think
it's
this
right
is
there
not
on the right.
wired up.
Yeah, it's on the right side. On the no.
Oh, yeah, bars right there.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Bruce is, I've lived with it long enough, I should know. Bruce, let's see, he's asking, okay, Bruce, sorry, ask that question later. That's off topic for right now. And Greg wants to know if we can count the number of occurrences or consecutive losers and winners. So like how many times there were 4 consecutive losers and so forth.
What I can do, or what you can do is, here there's max consecutive winners, max consecutive losers, but it won't show you, we had, 10 instances where there were 4 consecutive losers. Now, you could programmatically get that data if you wanted to, for sure. But there's nothing at the UI level that would show you that, other than what I'm showing you here, which is the largest maximum consecutive, well, I guess that's the point, maximum consecutive winners.
So if you do introduce those custom rows, then that's something that can be coded up, probably.
Yeah, I would think that's one of the things, right? Because I guess I don't want to get into the programming details, but the answer would be yes.
Scott's asking, custom strategies and indicators that he's, okay, sorry, Scott, that's off topic, and I'm not doing a good job of reading these first. So just ask that at the end, Scott. Kay wants to know, okay, again, off topic, sorry. Okay, Greg's asking, can we allow, okay, Greg wants to optimize on multiple, well, to use the word that you already used, Ray, multiple objectives like profit factor and Sharpe ratio, and you mentioned that you're thinking about adding that, but aren't sure just yet, right?
Yeah, okay, I'll just bring it up here. So, yeah, right, we've got this multi-objective optimization. The short of it is that you can pick 2, optimization objectives, and the problem right now is it takes a hell of a lot of memory. Without getting into the details, you've got to save all the results for, let's say, an optimization for max net profit, and all the results for max, or let's say minimal drawdown or something like that. And then you got to take all these results, and then you've got to put them into some form of graph that would show you all of the different points, so that you could say, because you can't say, it's not a matter of saying here's the 10 best max net profits and here's the best drawdowns. There's going to be a give and take, and you're going to have kind of what you call an ideal zone, right? An ideal zone of, well, this might not be the maximum net profit, but it's close to the best drawdown, and so this is they all converge here, and this is the trade, and you're going to see that in a graph. And point I'm simply making is that we've spec'd this, but we've talked to development about it. We already understand where there are some challenges around that, and we just haven't gotten our hands dirty enough to really know, okay, we can't do it, or here's where we're running into problems, or it's going to take 8 gigabytes of RAM. How do you do that? Do we then say, okay, user, if you want to do this, well, A, you got to use it on 64-bit so that you don't have memory limitations. B, it's going to eat a lot of memory. How do we address that? Do we provide some memory limitation that's user-defined? I mean, there's a whole bunch. I'm giving you just some of the questions that are going to come up here on our side as product developers, but hopefully that gives you some insight as to what we're doing.
Thanks. And personally, speaking as a quote power user, I've got 32 gig of RAM on my trading workstation, so I would like to see the option, even if more layman people cannot use it because they don't have the memory to do so. Phil's asking. That's just me, but when have I ever turned down a feature, Ray? You know that.
Yeah.
Phil wants to know if the strategy analyzer is not changed to cope with entries more than one lot and the statistics for multiple contracts. Okay, so I think we've covered this. This is if you enter multiple lots but you exit on scale out. That you've already answered that question. So Phil, if I misunderstood, ask that again. Theo wants to know if we can run Strategy Analyzer using market replay data.
If you can run I guess the answer is no. So basically the question is, can you run a back test? Well, you kind of can. You can run a back test on market replay and then generate the account performance data like the other window that I showed you. So you can do that with NinjaTrader 7 now as well if you wanted to.
Is the data still separate? Is there still like regular data that we collect from IQ feed or whatever, and then there's market replay?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Again, guys, trying to skip the questions that are not related to the strategy analyzer for the moment. Trying to get through these last few ones here. I think Brian is asking if there's been any enhancement to the ability to export to Excel.
Yes, I don't know what that is, but I know specifically that there have been improvements on grid export to Excel. So if you're talking about, right-click, grid, export to Excel, the short answer is I know there's some limitations or formatting problems that we had with NinjaTrader 7 that have been rectified with NinjaTrader 8.
Okay. Elliot, if I understand the question correctly, he's asking about the strategy wizard. Is that on topic for this?
I guess the answer right now is we don't have a what we've got right now with NinjaTrader is the way you do it. I'll just briefly. I'm not trying to spawn a whole new discussion, but if you go to the NinjaScript editor, and these gray boxes, these are just placeholders for now, and so don't take to heart what you're looking at. But if I go new strategy, it's going to take you to a wizard, and this is just think of it like a skeleton creation, much like the NinjaTrader 7 indicator wizard, where you can go in and it'll ask you questions, and we've definitely enhanced the wizard for creating a skeleton script. What the strategy wizard does not do right now is allow you to, like NinjaTrader 7, create conditions, and we haven't done that because our plan is to create a more, well, actually I don't want to disclose stuff there right now. I'll just say that we are planning on doing some innovative things in the area of strategy creation for non-programmers using a wizard like we have with NinjaTrader 7, but make it even better. Okay. So what we have just right now is just a skeleton creator.
Okay, so I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the strategy analyzer questions, and for everybody that did not get their question answered because I said it was off topic, if you could type it again, because there's, let's see, there's over 100 questions, so I don't want to scroll back.
Ooh.
So a few that I see here that are still on the screen that were off topic. Ray, is it okay to move on to just general questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to take general questions, and I don't know how much time we've got, Mike, but I've got, I could probably do another 20, 25 minutes or so if it takes that long.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, now they're flying in. When will NinjaTrader 8 be released?
No firm release date as of today.
Okay, I'm just trying to group some of these together. The code breaking changes. Can you comment on what for sure is broken, what might be broken, and how will users deal with this? If they've purchased stuff from vendors, if they have their own stuff, documentation or like any kind of heads up. I make the assumption, and correct me if I'm wrong, that maybe the first beta is when there will be some documentation available for people to see those.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can comment on that. The short of it is that most stuff is not broken. Unlike, NinjaTrader 6.5 to 7, there was things that were broken. In some cases, it was a few minute tweak on the part of the user. In other cases, it was minutes. For the most part, I think that the majority of you will fall into that same bracket. And I don't know specifically what things might be broken. There would be syntax changes here or there, different use cases. Like, for example, I know I'm just actually going to pull up a script as I'm talking right now. We don't have, let me just actually pull it up. So, here's a NinjaTrader 8 script. We don't have initialize anymore, for example. We switched that with onState changed, and this replaces what we had with NinjaTrader 7. We had like on startup, on terminate, I think, and so basically all those are really just states of a script. And so we thought, okay, let's just kind of clean it up and put it in an on-state change method, and then there's a number of different states that a script would go through, and you would code things in appropriate areas. So, for example, we'll publish what all these states are, how you use them, and so it'll be something like this. In NinjaTrader 7, whatever you had an initialize method, copy, paste it, and put it in on-state changed under set defaults, which is what you see here, for example. So there'll be that to me is a major one. It's not a change in logic, so to pardon me, not a change in logic. It's not a major change. It's just a kind of a reorganization, and that's probably one of the bigger things for people who are, let's just say, standard programmers. Now, the biggest thing that I would anticipate being the biggest change, and this is in the area of unsupported stuff, but I'll bring it up right now. A lot of advanced guys will override what we call on plot and do a lot of custom drawing on your chart, what have you. With NinjaTrader 8, the underlying technology that we use is not what we used before, which was called WinForms. We now use WPF. And WPF is just a different technology under the hood from Microsoft, and as a result, that area will change. And I'm just going to use the word significantly, but again, this is an area that's unsupported, which simply means that we're more liberal with, okay, hey, we're going to make changes here, and in essence, we have no choice but to make changes there just because the WPF technology dictates that. So there are going to be changes there, but if you haven't ventured off the beaten path, it really is not a major undertaking by any stretch.
Okay. Hopefully.
Oh, and so the question on the third-party stuff, obviously any third-party product would need to be updated by the vendor to support NinjaTrader 8. And for sure, some people will be ahead of the game. Some guys might wait. We're going to plan on supporting NinjaTrader 7 for some time to come. But we would hope that migration of the entire user base occurs in a pretty rapid pace. Rapid meaning within a few years. I think it took us a good 12 months for the majority of people to move from NinjaTrader 6.5 to NinjaTrader 7.
Okay. So guys, I'd like to just personally say that if you're buying anything from a vendor, I would imagine it would be a very good idea for you to know ahead of time what their upgrade policy is going to be for NinjaTrader 8 so that there's no surprises. Ray, I wanted to ask just kind of a general question of my own here. So NinjaTrader 7 to NinjaTrader 8, I think I used the word rewrite. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but can you talk about, just kind of from a high-level point of view, your longer-term plan as far as getting NinjaTrader 8 out the door as quickly as you can, and then to go back and take some of the feature requests that were not implemented with 8.0 and, more quickly crank out at 8.1 or at 8.2 and so forth? How, can you describe how you're thinking on all that?
Yeah, absolutely. NinjaTrader 7, is almost 10 years old. Well, actually, pardon me. What are we? We're in April. I started writing NinjaTrader in April of 2003. So my point in that is that there is code in NinjaTrader 7 that I wrote, many, many years ago. What happens over the life cycle of any software development is that things become harder to manage, become harder to implement new things. It's just because you're building on top of a building on top of a building, and that's what happens. It's a product software life cycle. NinjaTrader 8, rewrite, depending on how you look at it, it's not like we threw everything we had and said, okay, let's just start from scratch. We took a lot of code over and looked at it and said, how could we make this better? That we had starting points for something. Some things we said, hey, let's just rewrite that completely. So NinjaTrader 8 is, let's say, our foundation for the next, I'll just say, 10 years from now. And what that allows you to do is, since we're starting off with version 1, we are able to build new things quicker, like we were able to do back 9 years ago with NinjaTrader version 2 and version 3. So the short answer is you will see quicker product releases from us once NinjaTrader 8 is out the door, with our ability to bring things in that we otherwise may not have wanted to do with NinjaTrader 7, just because it would have been too difficult for us to do that.
Okay. Thanks. Jack is asking, this is a chart question, so I don't know if you can comment or not, but let's say he has two different data series on a chart, and one of them is a tick chart, and the other one is a different chart type. Right now, I think there's an NT7 feature called equidistant spacing, if I remember correctly, and it can cause like a gap in the bar or a gap in the chart because of the unequal start and end times. Can you comment on any of that being changed?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that there's a gap in the chart, but there's a gap in the uniform timeline because all the bars are plotted on time, and that's what synchronizes all the bars in relationship to one another. We are actually, as we speak, playing around with options there, because we know some people, I personally don't agree with it. That's why you see NinjaTrader charts the way they are. I understand that what I want isn't necessarily always what other people want, and so we're playing with different ideas of having the timeline not uniform, but having bars, for example, equally spaced apart. There's downsides to that, and I'm not going to debate it, but the answer is you will see something in NinjaTrader 8 that will allow more flexibility in that area.
Okay. I think I've seen another approach also that simply widens the bar so that there's not a visual, space. So like panel 1 is, X width, but panel 2 has a width that would vary.
Right.
SS asking, I think he's asking about Singapore exchange-based instruments such as the Singapore dollar from Interactive Brokers. He wants to know if it's supported, if you can chart that in NinjaTrader 8. Maybe that's some kind of a limitation in Ninja 7. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
I personally don't. So I don't know what limitation he ran into, other than I don't believe there should be any limitations. So I guess I just don't think I can answer it, since I don't know what limitation might exist with NinjaTrader 7 in that area.
Right. Okay. Bruce is saying that he's got a lot of custom graphics. I take that to mean custom plots in his indicator. So you mentioned that the on-plot override method is going to significantly change, but it will still be there. So once they learn the new syntax, then you should be able to do everything that you did with Ninja 7 and Ninja 8, most likely.
I think I mean, I'm not the WPF, I don't program this stuff anymore like I used to years ago. So I don't know, at a real technical level, other than to say that WPF provides a lot more flexibility in doing things at a creative level. So I guess I'll leave it at that. We definitely are not going to take anything away. That's not the intention. It'll just be different, and likely you can do more things.
Right.
One of the things we are doing is breaking out our scripts or breaking out our charts to be more programmable. This is not by any stretch a fact yet. It's a desire. I don't see any reason why we couldn't do it yet. But what you might see, or what I hope you would see, is that you can create your own plot. Define your own plot scripts, define your own chart marker scripts, for example. So instead of using our default, I think we've got 8 or 9 different plots, you could create some funny thing you want, or I won't say funny, but some user definable plot, for example.
Right.
That would be the idea.
Greg's asking if Ninja 8 will run on Windows XP.
I don't know if it wouldn't or would. I don't. I guess I don't know if we've even tested that. I just don't know. I don't know.
Joe's asking about the session manager. He wants to be able to define a session that starts on Friday at X and ends on Monday at X, and it's currently not possible with Ninja 7.
Yes, you can.
Scott's asking, okay, Scott, I think we've answered the question. So certified NinjaScript vendor DLL third-party indicators and such will need to be reissued by the publisher, by the vendor, to work in Ninja 8. Let's see. Jerry's asking, okay, Jerry says there's a few serious problems with the audio alerts protocol. As it stands right now, multiple alerts that occur at the same time will interrupt or overlap each other. So the whole purpose of having multiple alerts is compromised and doesn't work correctly. So is there a way to queue them up so that they just happen one after the other instead of on top of each other?
Yeah, I guess the answer is no. I know what you mean, because when you throw audio at your PC, they'll play together, and I think that's what you're talking about. Is that if you get 2 alerts, simultaneously, they'll collide from an audio perspective. And I guess the answer is no. There's no queuing logic implemented for NinjaTrader 8.
JTA
I'll write that one down though. Just
sure. JTA wants to know. I'm trying to understand. I think he's asking, this is again about charts, which I know you're not really talking about just yet, but he wants to know, I think he wants to know if they'll support multiple cores.
I'll say it this way, that in NinjaTrader 8, every thread, or pardon me, that's not the right word, every core on your PC will be made available to NinjaTrader 8 to drive UI. So if you had, for example, 4 cores on your computer, NinjaTrader will run on 4 independent user interface threads. What that means is you could open up 4 charts, and theoretically they would be on 4 separate threads, meaning they're running on 4 separate cores. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
I think so.
Hopefully it does.
Chris asking if there's any kind of improved integration with the Visual Studio in terms of debugging NinjaScript.
Yes, actually, there's this. You can see up top there's this VS thing. I just clicked on it, and I haven't actually used this myself here, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. But so far, oh, there you go. Okay, it looks like on the right you can see it loaded up some stuff. I think the short answer is we've integrated Visual Studio into the NinjaScript editor so that you can work back and forth and work in Visual Studio as you make changes as Visual Studio. You can compile from there, and honestly, I was not involved in the specification of that, nor have I even used it. All I know is that there is interaction between Visual Studio and the NinjaScript editor, and what I told you is about as much as I can recollect at a high level.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, currently asking questions from about 15 minutes ago. Mark wants to know if the strategy analyzer walk forward analysis, if there is a way to walk forward the top X number of optimizations instead of just the top optimization.
I don't know the answer to that, Mark.
Shane wants to know okay, he's wondering what development methodology the development team uses. I don't know any of these. Scrum, Kanban, Waterfall, Test-Driven Development. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
Agile, and yeah, I guess I would say this: we're a small team. You know, we've got 6 guys here. It's if I had to pick one, I'd probably say it's more agile approach. But ultimately, you know, in a small development team, it's more of a get stuff done. You know, divvy it out. Here you go. You're done. Okay, move on. Here's the next task for you. That's kind of how we do it.
Jupiter is asking if you plan to add the ability to add intra-bar tick and quote data to the historical bar loading. Okay, so I think he's asking right now if you load a chart, then all the charts from bar 1 to the current bar are kind of treated as calculate on bar close true, so it's just like end of bar. Okay. Is there a way in NinjaTrader 8 so that the historical bars on a chart would be processed tick by tick? I
see. Okay. We're talking strategy analyzer?
I think he's talking charts.
Okay, because that to me is a market replay function.
Well, okay. So with Ninja 7, right? If there's 1,000 bars, if you load it, like using your Apple example of 2 years of data, yep, then all the bars on the chart from 2 years ago to today are calculated on bar close true. Yeah, and right. then the live data from the moment the chart is up until forward is tick by tick. So yeah, I think he's asking if he could get it all to be tick by tick with Ninja 8.
Okay. There must be a reason for the question. From a visual standpoint, obviously there's absolutely, well, at least I can't think of a reason why you would want to do that. That would just slow loading of the chart up, right? So the only reason I can think of is that you want to load it tick by tick because you've got indicators that need to calculate a value for the bar, but needs the intra-bar tick data to calculate the end of the bar value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is the GOMI stuff, right? And the answer to that is yes. We have, right now it's called tick replay. And the idea behind that is when you create a chart or add an indicator on a chart, I can't remember if it's done at the data series level or if it's done on the indicator level. Nevertheless, one of those levels you can turn on what we call tick replay, which will replay the on-bar update and indicator tick by tick. And each tick has the bid-ask price that occurred at that tick so that you can then, run calculations as if the indicator was running in real time. And that's what we do with NinjaTrader 8. I don't know if that's where the question was aimed at. If it was something different, if the user wants to see, sit there and watch the bar build in real time, that's market replay, right?
Right.
Well, what I'm saying is build in real time off of historical data. That's market replay. And in our market replay with NinjaTrader 8, you can replay it off of market replay files, which are recordings, or what we've introduced new for NinjaTrader 8 is you can replay off of historical tick data, so that you can choose either one of those sources.
Jeff wants to know if there's any plans to use grid technology. He's talking about spanning multiple physical computers in order to do, really large optimization jobs.
Yeah, no, I know. The answer is not in the scope of NinjaTrader 8. I can't say yes or no to anything we might do after that. The reality is people running back tests on the platform is the minority of people that use NinjaTrader, or I just say in any trading, people doing back testing is always a minority to the people who are not. And the reason I bring that up is, anytime you do something, you got to do it based off of demand. And so I'm not sure what the demand for that might be after NinjaTrader 8. I mean, that's something that we have discussed internally before. I know MetaTrader, for the Storex guys, they allow their users to contribute their computer resources into a pool, and but I've talked to people about that, and the feedback I get from people is, hey, I don't want my strategy leaving my computer and being running on somebody else's computer. So I get a different side of that. So I guess I just don't know. It's not to say, like I said, that we haven't looked into and done some preliminary research and discussions on it, and because we have.
Okay. Greg's asking for overall better fill handling from managed modes inside of a strategy instead of using unmanaged.
Better fill handling. I'm
like
not sure.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, there's unmanaged and managed, and if you're really advanced, you can switch to unmanaged and do everything yourself. If you leave it on the default managed, and there are certain scenarios where you get overfills and the strategy will abort. I think that's probably what he's talking about.
I see. Okay, got it. At the end of the day, pardon me, I can't recollect it. It's been well over a year and a half since we've coded and spec'd the real-time strategy running behavior. There's a bunch of things that we have done in that area. For example, with NinjaTrader 8, you can start a strategy and pick up any open position. With NinjaTrader 7, either you have to flatten your account first, or you just ran it as is, and your account and your strategy position might be out of sync. With respect to overfill handling, we did something in that area. I just, like I said, it's probably been 18 months since we've been at that point and working on the product, so it just escapes me right now. I apologize for that. I
see several questions, both from vendors and end users, so let me try to lump everything into one. As far as documentation for code-breaking changes, some people are asking for like a map to old methods versus new methods and how to convert. Some people are asking for if they can get alpha copies as vendors. Some people are asking if they're going to have any kind of private release to vendors beforehand, etc.
Okay, all good questions, and I think the answer, we generally do a pretty good job in the documentation area. I believe with NinjaTrader 6.5 to 7, we posed the incompatibility and how to migrate over, let's say either the replacement or the workaround or whatever it might have been. So I don't anticipate anything different than that. In terms of getting early copies out to our development community or our commercial development community, the intent has always been to get product in their hands first. I don't know if I want to call it an alpha or a beta or whatever, but we are definitely aware that we want to get our commercial partners and our consultants up on the platform as soon as possible.
Peter wants to know if you can run NinjaTrader 7 and NinjaTrader 8 simultaneously on the same PC.
I know that I can, but I don't know if there's something in the code that allows me specially to do that, since I'm what we call it administrator license. So I don't know if there's anything to provide. I think you can. I don't think there. Yeah, I believe you can, but you might run into problems if you try to connect into the same account with two versions. Not because we're limiting it, but the brokerage or the brokerage technology might be limiting it.
Okay. Mark asking, this kind of as we just talked about, but I'll briefly say he wants a developer webinar on how to use WPF.
Hit the books now, Mark.
Jerry asking about the global cursor. He wants it changed in NT8 so that it can be selected as a toggle, so that it's only active in the current workspace instead of all workspaces.
Yeah, there's I think we've already done that. This might crash. Let me see. Oh, no. I thought there's a global link button. No, that's different. Global link button. I thought there was somewhere, if it's not already in there, then I think it's on our list. But yeah, there was something to do with well, I'll just say this. We plan on changing behavior or expanding the behavior, I should say, of the crosshair, and cross workspaces was something stopping it on. It's all vague to me in the top of my head. But there's going to be changes there.
In the past webinars, I think that you mentioned that charts that are not, that are minimized, they also have, like, there's something new in that regard from a performance standpoint, right?
Yeah, there's actually, you can see it here. If you take a look, I'll just highlight it right now. So there's a property on indicators that says is suspended while invisible. In short, what that means is this indicator, for example, if it's invisible, meaning let's say the chart that the indicator is running on is minimized, all of its methods, on-bar update and things like that, will not be called to obviously save CPU cycles. When you then make the chart visible again, it obviously will run through all the bars that it has not yet run through, that have come in during the time that it's been invisible, to make sure that the calculations are accurate. And so by default, any indicator that doesn't have any intra-bar calculation dependencies are set to true. What I mean by that is if you've got an indicator where you really need to calculate some value on each incoming tick, then you always set this is suspended while invisible true, because you'll want it to be running, even if it's invisible, if that makes sense to you guys.
Right. Okay. Kay's asking about there's currently a known issue with FXCM, something to do with a 90-second delay between a disconnect on the FXCM side before NT knows about it. Any?
With NinjaTrader 8, I guess I can answer that. I don't know. It's a FXCM API scenario where it's just how their API works. We don't get notified for that long. We have made suggestions to them. I don't know where that might be. If we might get some new API, if they made a change there, it would be reflected in NinjaTrader 7 and NinjaTrader 8 likely.
I think you've mentioned previously that you've kind of mandated to all partners that they need to give you 64-bit APIs for Ninja 8, right?
Yes.
Kay's asking, there's currently a disclaimer when he connects to FXCM saying that OCA orders are not server-side. Is that fixed in NT8?
No. Oh, not to the best of my knowledge as of today.
SS is following up with his previous question on the Singapore exchange, the Singapore dollar. He says it doesn't currently plot. So it sounds like SS, you should just email NinjaTrader support and see what's going on.
Yes, please.
Bruce is asking for people that use the use instruments in the market analyzer. I think that's what he's asking. Can there be a column added that actually shows the session template name for each instrument inside of the market analyzer.
Session, I see. I guess that's a feature suggestion. Let me think. I guess I would say that we have no plans of introducing that. You can always throw that into our suggestion. I'll just write that down myself now and add that to our just standard suggestion queue. So it's a column in MA to show session template. With NinjaTrader 8, we will be officially supporting custom market analyzer columns, and it might be possible to create a column programmatically to do that, because what you'll I'm just thinking through the logic on the top of my head, because you'll have access to the instrument should have access to the session template, which you can then get a string representation of to display in the column. So I believe it would be possible with NinjaTrader 8 in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Tim wants to know if he owns a NinjaTrader 7 license, how much will it cost to upgrade to NinjaTrader 8?
Free. But I'd like, if you guys are willing to pay.
Bruce asking if there's any kind of new vendor licensing API. Specifically, he's asking about maintaining and issuing new product licenses.
I'm not sure, Bruce. I know we just finished work on that. I don't recall what's changed with NinjaTrader 8. I apologize.
Tim wants to know about importing all of his settings, his templates, his workspaces, and et cetera from 7 to 8.
We have not written the, let's call it the NinjaTrader 7 to 8 conversion. I don't know what limitations we're going to have, what will be migratable, what will not be. It's just a premature question for me to answer at this time.
Okay. Gary is asking for clarification on threads versus cores. He says that he's hoping the NT is not limited to the number of cores as a number of parallel threads.
No, I mean let's. I guess the short answer is no. I mean I don't know how many threads. I mean tons of threads that NinjaTrader is running on, as is NinjaTrader 7. All I was saying is that for the UI thread in NinjaTrader 7, there's one UI thread that runs, but it's multi-thread, and that there, a lot of other processes are running on different threads. But in NinjaTrader 8, there is more than one UI thread. There will be the same number of UI threads as there are cores in their computer. Hopefully, that clarifies that.
Jerry's asking about any type of capability to measure the latency between the market data from the exchange as relative to the local PC clock.
Nothing that we built into the product. There's definitely little indicators here and there that I've seen. I mean, I've written one myself, but nothing that we put in the product itself.
And we should maybe just quickly, I see a couple of questions. So the base granularity of NinjaTrader 8 does now support millisecond timestamps, and it's down to the C# tick increment, right?
That's correct. Not to be confused with a historical market data tick. This is a time measurement.
And IQ. Sorry.
So IQ feed goes down to the millisecond, I think.
Yeah, they just did that recently.
Yeah, and so short of it is we'll support down to the lowest possible time granularity in the Microsoft.NET language, but you do have to understand that the majority of the market data vendors only publish their data down to the second.
Lou is asking for a iPhone or Android app.
Yeah, good question. I'm trying to think how to answer that. I'll say it this way. There's a good chance that either in time with NinjaTrader 8 or shortly thereafter we will have some sort of, I'm just going to use the term mobile app, and we've been playing around with doing, we're doing some stuff on the research and development phase right now, and there's a lot of different ways we can go and a lot of different things we could do with our partners, and it's just unclear what route we want to go, because there's also a question of, well, what do people want in a mobile app, and to some degree my belief, and this could change, my belief is that most of the people that use our product sit in front of their computer at home, with big screen arrays, and that's how they use the product, and they're not going to take that same, they don't want that same experience on a phone. It just is not, it's not a practical thing. So the thing is, well, what are they going to do on the phone? Which comes back to me as, well, it's more of a monitoring. It's, hey, I'm going to go to lunch, I want to see my running strategies, I just want to make sure that if anything goes wrong, I can have some form of control remotely and turn off a strategy, close a position, just see where the market's at. That's my current belief, and so I'm going down the road, or I should say potential decisions I'm in the process now of making are in that context. If you guys disagree with that general context, definitely feel free to open up some debates, either on Big Mike Forum, on our own forum, if you disagree with me, because I definitely would love to hear it.
Okay. Josh is asking about the account grouping feature and if he'll be able to replicate modifications to orders across all accounts inside of the group.
Josh, I've got unfortunate news for you, my friend. The account group function you see in NinjaTrader 7, we've deprecated. In NinjaTrader 8, nobody uses it. And when I mean by nobody, I mean you're one of a few that use it. And it's funny that you bring that up. And so, anyways, I guess I'll just tell you that, like,
it can be done with third party, right? I mean, there's some vendor add-ons already that have basically their own DOM, so you could approach those guys and ask for the feature, I assume.
Yeah, there might be other ways to do it with things I'm not at liberty to discuss yet, but that specific account group feature in NinjaTrader 7, that's been removed.
Bruce wants to know if there's any plans to support the Thinkorswim data feed. I wasn't aware that was, as far as I know, Thinkorswim is kind of their own deal. Do you know anything about that?
The answer is, if I thought about it, no. Would we do something like that? It's really demand driven. We don't lightly integrate to anybody who wants us to integrate. It has to make sense for us, primarily from a business standpoint. There has to be enough demand. There has to be enough commitment on the part of the partner we write to. So, Thinkorswim, we've had discussions in general with TD Ameritrade about the current API that we use, what we're doing with NinjaTrader 8. We actually already nearly completed our integration with TD Ameritrade for NinjaTrader 8, and it's a new API. And I don't think we're going to be doing anything, at least in the interim or short term, with Thinkorswim separately than what we've done with TD Ameritrade themselves.
Okay. Getting towards the end here, I'm looking for some questions that have not already been answered, really. Scott wants to know if market profile is part of NinjaTrader 8.
No decision has been made on that right now.
Tim is asking again if you can give us a ballpark idea on when NinjaTrader 8 will be made publicly available.
No, I can't. I mean, the goal is this year.
Doug's asking for the ability to do tool strips and charts instead of drilling into menus for drawing tools.
Tool strips. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's actually there's a script on BMT that does that right now, that gives you like a tool strip with all these little buttons for chart drawing tools and colors and texts and all that kind of stuff. So you could always do it that way.
Yeah. I'll say it this way, that the menu structure or button structure or whatever you want, let's call it navigation structure, for NinjaTrader 8 charts have yet to be finalized. I can't comment on that any more than that, other than the intent, though, with NinjaTrader 8 is to make our charts more open, supported. Pardon me, what I mean by that is, from a programming standpoint, more open, supported, and extensible, which would imply that menus like people do right now, we would have more official support. And I think what will happen is, when we have more official support for things, I think you'll see more people develop even more nifty things for our charts. Right now there are definitely some nifty things that are created, but they're done so, at the blood, sweat, and tears of the developers who have, laboriously figured out how stuff works. Once we, reach our hand out and say, hey, here, we'll help you, I think more things will be built, and this would only open up more ability to do things like that if we don't end up doing that ourselves.
Right. Okay, so let's wrap it with two last questions, since we're at 2 hours here. Cordell is asking about Fibonacci's. He says he's a scalper and he uses fibs a lot. He wants the Fibonacci tool to include a real-time ruler as he draws the fibs.
Okay, I see. I'll take that as a suggestion. We haven't written the NinjaTrader 8 fib drawing tools yet, but what I could say is that drawing tools, the intention right now is to break those out as scripts that are officially supported. My point simply is that if we don't do something to your liking in terms of a drawing tool, the idea is you could build your own or have somebody build it for you.
Okay. And just a last question, NT8, what is it built on, .NET wise?
Oh.
4.5?
I apologize. I don't even know if it's 4.0, 4.5. By the time it's released, it will be, whatever's current then.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's a good place to stop since we're at 2 hours. Ray, as always, I'd like to, thank you for all the time that you've given us today and answering everybody's questions, and really appreciate that, as always.
You're very welcome. Thanks for everybody who stuck around till the end. Appreciate the questions, and hope I was, frank enough. That's my style, to give you the straight scoop.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to seeing you next time, or talking to you next time.
Okay, so I'll post the recording sometime tomorrow, guys, and there's a thread on BMT that you can use if there's any questions that you did not get answered. You can always put them there. All right. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, everybody.
You bet. Talk to you later.